Okay, hey everybody, welcome to another episode of On the Wrist from Off the Cuff. Today, I'll be reviewing a new round of releases from BlueShark Strap. A little bit about the brand. They are, of course, US based, and they basically, have a wide range of NATO-style straps to suit all tastes, and that's really what they built their business model on. And as they've reached more and more success, you're going to see them release some more things that are more and more out of the box, to include two-piece straps. So we do have two brand new two-piece straps here to look at, and then also one new NATO style strap, which I find very interesting. So with that said, very quickly, you may have noticed today's watches that will be featured on these straps are all Meca Quartz movements, which I thought would be kind of fun because you guys know I enjoy a good Meca Quartz watch as well. So that is a little sneak kind of Easter egg bonus for all you other Meca Quartz fans out there. One thing to mention, the Seiko in the middle, I did a full review on, as well as the Nizumi Studios. I don't think I've done the Nuska Tiger review. Maybe I'll get to that down the line. But essentially I'll have the same movement. This Seiko is actually it's not the one that I featured in the $99 wristwatch Nirvana video. This is actually my son's. I was trying to get this video together very quickly, and his already had the spring bars in it to be used on a NATO strap, versus mine was used on a it is currently on like a vintage kind of rally looking strap. So if you notice, of course it's a 10-year-old's watch. So it's pretty worn in there. Don't think that I started abusing this particular timepiece, because I do love it, and every once in a while we'll do the father-son wristwatch checks, and both have them on, so that's pretty fun. But with that said, let's go ahead, zoom out, and get these pieces in hand. And alrighty, so let's go ahead and start out with the most vibrant option here, which is the blue rally strap, which is absolutely just in your face, right? And it's really cool. And the cool thing is, it's actually, for a silicone strap, it doesn't get too dusty, and that's really why I normally stick straight up to just natural rubbers. As you can see, there's going to be, it will pick up a little bit of dust, but I've definitely seen much worse, especially on a dark color like this. One of the nice things they've done is, they really go the extra mile. You do have the quick release mechanisms there, so you can make strap changing very easy. But you can see nicely contoured, and it has details underneath. And those aren't just for looks, that actually also helps the wrist breathe really nice, which makes this really, wow, one of the more comfortable straps I've ever worn. So, obviously the aesthetic is a little loud, a little in your face, but as you can see, not really even broken in. I can wear it, I can tighten it and cinch it down onto my wrist relatively tight. Very great fit on there. This thing, you could almost forget it's on the wrist. So if you're somebody who really is looking for comfort, this could be the one for you in a two-piece strap, especially if you have, something a little bit more vibrant, because a lot of their options are different two-piece. Basically a two-piece and under and a top coat, essentially, with a darker color than a pop of color underneath. So if you have more vibrant watches, this could be the one for you. And of course, although it does have these perforations, it's just for looks. So it's not like it necessarily has to be a rally style watch. It just kind of worked out that way here. But yeah, this one is really, really comfortable. All right, let's move on now to the next offering, which is this really cool new Pajama stretch style strap. And man, this thing is stretchy, and even the holes stretch. So, if I was going to critique, I'd say maybe they do a model that has leather over here so that these holes don't stretch out and get worn out. But even stretching them out like purposely, they do snap right back to shape. But that's something that I'd probably think about for long-term use. I think it would actually be really cool if they had like basically a leather guard on here, and then you would just have the stretchiness available there. Of course, in the more traditional NATO layout versus something more like a Marine National strap. And I do think the color scheme is pretty cool. It almost gives it a kind of space vibe, but essentially it's just going to go on like any other NATO, except it's going to have some stretch to it, hence the Pajama kind of namesake there. So you can see I can really stretch it out. I can make it tighter, looser, essentially. And then the nice thing is they do have that sliding keeper, so that when I retuck it back under, no big deal, I can get it all tucked really nicely. So now that is super comfortable. I mean, if you're gonna think, if you want something in a more traditional kind of NATO strap layout with the way the hardware is and everything, but you want it very, very comfortable, I mean, this thing is tough to beat. Also, it's a single pass, which is nice, which we're seeing more popularized these days, and you can see really beautifully, super comfortable, and nice. So yeah, I'm really digging this. They have tons of different options as well. And then lastly, we have this really cool new Cordura strap. Oh, and also for pricing, the two-piece straps are both $26, and then the basically the NATO, the long one piece is $32. So all relatively reasonable, especially for a US-based brand, that you're not gonna have to wait some exorbitant amount of time for them to ship and things to get to you from overseas. So I mean, that's really great, and you're also, of course, supporting a watch enthusiast and somebody who's been very kind to the YouTube in the community. You guys have seen tons of reviews of their products because they're just pretty fearless when it comes to their releases, and really allowing reviewers to kind of unload any of their thoughts. But to the Cordura strap, this thing is beautifully made. Unfortunately, it's a bit short. They're actually revising these to be a little bit longer. So when I put it on the wrist, it's going to be a little bit short. But man, I'm really looking forward to these and the revised lengths, because this is just so soft and supple, which is absolutely great. And then of course on the Cordura side, you already know from other Cordura straps that they're very thick, very durable, very nice tactical look to them. But also in this kind of color, it gives it a really just nice warm kind of sheen, which I really, really like. And then of course you do have the quick release spring bars, which is great. So it really makes changing straps a breeze. So as you're going to see here on my 7¼ inch wrist, it's going to be just a little bit short, sorry. And if I really want to, and of course this strap isn't broken in because it's hard for me to wear because it's kind of so short. So definitely if you have a smaller wrist, this could really be for you. If you have like a 6.5 to 7, it's going to fit a lot better versus me with the 7¼ and then of course I also like to wear my watches past the wrist bone because I'm left-handed, and I just kind of like to wear them a little bit looser, so that they're not just kind of way up here and then above the wrist bone. So it's on the wrist. You can see it's pretty tight, but man, the sheen on here, the quality, although the fitment isn't great for my wrist in this initial iteration, I'm really loving the quality. You can see the stitching, all very, very finely done. If I can get it to focus. All right, there you go. Yeah, so, and of course the hardware is top notch. Really, really nice. Nothing over the top, but it's really, it's all milled. They're not cheaping out, by any means on there. And it's really a very much quite impressive. So, let me know what you guys think as I try to pry this off my wrist. But really quickly, as you can see, look at that milled hardware. There's a lot of companies that are out there where you're not going to see everything milled, and here that's just a beautiful thing when you get that. So I'm really a fan of this particular strap. As far as aesthetics, this is probably my pick out of the bunch. And then for comfort, it's pretty close, I'd say, probably between these two. For a two-piece strap, this thing is probably the most comfortable two-piece strap I've ever worn. And then this is just a really cool idea. I think that this is, the idea of, hey, just a really comfortable NATO you can wear anywhere. And then of course it's a lot cheaper than the kind of Marine National style straps that are being very popularized right now. And there's a whole bevy of different options that I've reviewed on the channel, and they're all great, don't get me wrong. But what a lot of them do with kind of the trick hardware is it does create a little bit of an issue as far as deployment, right? When you're taking it on and off the wrist, it's a bit more of a chore and an acquired skill, versus here it's you're putting it on the same way that you normally put on a NATO, and then you can run it through just like you would run it through a NATO, versus kind of having to take off the lug bar, the spring bars, and then kind of weave everything through. through, and it's essentially, this is much more straightforward, which I think is a really cool take. And I think it would be even cooler if they really focused on kind of the rugged, more field side of it. Maybe did some leather here, maybe a little bit leather up top by the buckle, and then leave this kind of a stretch material. And I think that'd be really awesome as kind of a next evolution. But in its current form, I think this is going to make a lot of people happy. And you know, at the price, $32, that's not too shabby at all. And of course, again, you're getting really solid milled, even, you know, on a NATO strap there, you're getting really solid milled hardware, which is really nice. And then of course everything brushed, which, you know, goes best with everything. So really impressed there. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. If you liked the video, please do it like, and if you're not already, please subscribe for more content just like this. Thanks, guys.